Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Wraith, and today is going to be a little bit of a different video. I'm going to be going over a previous experience I had with a player, and this is coming from quite a while ago, so towards the start of, middle of strategy battle game had been out for a little bit. But I thought it would be a good story to cover because it can translate quite nicely towards you new players, and can give you some hope. Okay, before I go off on a monologue of inspirational quotes, I will begin the story. So, I was having this game with my buddy, and we're both Lord of the Rings fans, so we're playing middle of strategy battle game. I was a little bit more confident with the game than they were, and I had been big into strategy battle game for ages. So, he brought his force of Isengard, if I remember correctly. Anyway, the forces don't matter that much. I know I was using Fiefdoms, Delt Knights, a lot of Swan Knights, and Prince Imrahil, of course, and then the other supporting characters, playing at 1,000 points. And it was a fun game, in my opinion, for me, because I got to use my knights, I got to use different tactics that I always want to try and implement into all my games, things like flanking, hammer and anvil, stuff like that, because I had some guys on foot, men at arms and stuff like that, to take the Uruk-hai charge at the front, to pin them into place, whilst the knights wrapped around, hit them in the back and sides, taking their pike supports out. And yeah, with the +1 to my fight value and things like that, I was out fighting them, I had them surrounded, a bunch of them were trapped, and he was losing guys left, right and centre. This is when he began to start moaning. He was moaning a little bit about how good the good side is compared to evil, because apparently good get everything. Good fight value, good courage, good defense. I disagree, being primarily an evil player, in the sense that I play the evil factions, not that I'm sadistic. But anyway, yeah, so he started complaining, and I kind of ignored it. I was like, fair enough, okay, yeah, I can see why he might be getting a little bit salty at this point. Carried on playing, and he didn't really learn, because the scenario was we just literally had the one that was kill points. Which one's that? You rack up how many kills you can. So it's not the best scenario in the world for him, because he had more models for me to kill. And we carried on, and I basically rinsed and repeated. I trapped him in the front with my infantry, swung my heavy cavalry into the side, get the double attacks, get the +1 to the wound with the lances, everyone's high fight, everyone's in banner range because of Prince Imrahil. Again, he carried on moaning as we went on, and it wasn't just that good were overpowered, it was his dice rolls as well. And I get people have bad dice roll days, I do certainly, and I do moan about bad dice rolls. But when you are being genuinely, I don't want to say outplayed, but when the opponent's tactic is working better than your tactic, you don't moan about the dice all the time. You need to kind of reevaluate your tactics and get yourself out of a situation where I'm rolling as many dice as I am to get that 6 over your not 6. But hey ho, I don't know. In my opinion, his dice weren't that bad and mine weren't that good. Then he finally got a stroke of luck, or he changed his tactics slightly, where Prince Imrahil was tied up with Lurtz and a Isengard troll. And he was in a sticky situation because, yeah, he was slightly trapped. Not great for me. But what I did was I heroic combated with another hero who was nearby, took down the Uruk-hai I was fighting, and then went over to join him and pull the troll off, so the fight value didn't matter. And I did end up, well, not only wasn't I trapped anymore, but I also managed to strike higher than Lurtz did, so I won the fight on that. And this is the point where they got very, very angry, and not directly at me, I think just with the game in general. And he said he's going to throw in the towel. He threw in the towel. He called the game there, and he wasn't losing by loads. You know, I had a substantial head start, but he could have pulled it around. He still had some heavy hitters. I didn't kill Lurtz. I just won the fight and took a fate off him. But hey ho. And I did try and explain to him that he still got a chance in the game, but no, he wasn't having any of it. And then he went on this massive rant of how overpowered Delt is, or fiefdoms, how overpowered good heroes are. They've got the fight value, they've got the courage, they've got the defense, they've got everything. What has Lertz got? Well, Lertz is awesome. I love Lertz. Now, before I continue with the story and tell you what happened next, I just want to mention I don't really think there's much that's overpowered in Middle-earth strategy battle game. There is a lot of stuff that is extremely strong. There are certain armies that struggle a lot. But with most of the scenarios, and I say most because some are absolute mismatches, if you're, for example, playing Isengard with Saruman, and you go against the Balrog and you get Contest of Champions, it's going to be very, very hard for you to win. But it's not impossible. Yeah, don't go thinking, right, Angmar is overpowered, I'm going to lose. Or Moria is overpowered with their new Legendary Legion, I'm going to lose. Everything's overpowered, this is not fair. It's absolutely not true. If someone says, for example, like I had this a lot when I first started. I got told, go for Gondor, go for Rohan, or go for Mordor. Easy armies to run, well, kind of, and strong, and competitive, because I'm a competitive gamer, people know I want to be competitive, but I didn't want to do that. I liked the Mahad Raiders, the Camel Riders, absolutely loved them, and people told me, and I completely disagree, that they are not as good as other things, they're not top competitive, you won't see them at events, and to be fair, you don't that much. And the half trolls are good, but they're too expensive, yada yada. I don't care. I bought my full Mahad list, my Farharad army, and I love it. It's my favourite army, and it's the list I bring against people, and usually I do really well with it, to the point that it did get banned at one of my clubs. Not seriously banned. They were like, just play something not Farharad. That was the comment. Don't play Farharad. So yeah, no matter what army you're playing, if it fits your playstyle, you will do well with it. If you want to do a full Mirkwood Ranger list with Tario and Legolas, go for it. Some people will tell you it's not top competitive, but I think it's fantastic. If it's your playstyle and you're good with it, do it. But nevertheless, continuing with the story, what I suggested next did take him back a little bit. I was like, right, okay, good is overpowered. Fair enough. I love evil. So how about, because we only played for about half an hour and I still wanted to roll dice, how about we swap factions? Just completely swap armies. Reset the game, same scenario, everything, and just reset it. And he snapped this opportunity up because he thought, yeah, this army's awesome. It's way better than my one. I've got a win here. Cool, no dramas. Reset the board, and it went completely the other way than he expected. I managed to get into choke points with pike formations. I managed to separate Imrahil by scaring off with troll and alerts. Loads of other funny shenanigans I was doing. I managed to outflank him at one point with Uruk-hai warriors, just because I heroic marched. And I love heroic march. Please heroic march. Because, yeah, sure, you're not cavalry, but you're going 9 inches now. So you're basically cavalry. So I heroic marched a block of pikes and flanked him, because he crashed in with the cavalry, and I managed to flank him. So next turn, if I won priority, he was going to get charged from both sides. And I won priority, which was lucky on my part. I mean, he could have run away, but I gave him 2 options: run away or stay there. And he started getting frustrated again, which I thought was bonkers. I'm winning with your army, okay? And I was winning at this point. I managed to get the troll in to Prince Imrahil multiple times. Prince Imrahil kept on trying to strike up to beat the troll's fight value, and he was wasting his might on a troll, which, I mean, it's not a waste, but I knew when I finally got Lertz in and I struck, he didn't have enough might to strike himself, and I managed to outfight him. I trapped him with a couple of normal Uruk-hai and Lertz, and I beat him to a pulp. It was at this point he said fair enough, because as salty as he was in the first game, and he was getting a bit salty in the second game, but at this point he did say fair enough. Okay, you completely proven me wrong. I see what you've done here. And yeah, I did. Absolutely, I did. I took his not OP army against my apparently OP army, and I beat him up with his own army. And the only reason I did that was because A, he was a relatively new player, and I didn't want to just beat him up. He's not new. We were both about the same level. I was just slightly more confident with the rule set. So I wasn't a veteran player beating up a new player before anyone says that. But I just wanted to show him that don't give up with this game, don't give up with this hobby, don't give up with this army. It's all about the playstyle. It's all about the tactics and how you run them. Okay? You can get the top tournament list, whatever they may be. If I'll just say Angmar because I hate Angmar. If you run Angmar's top tournament list, Gulliver and the Witch King and all that stuff, and you don't play it the way you need to be playing it, you're still going to lose. If you don't play the scenarios and focus on just killing models when you don't need to, in this scenario we just had to slaughter each other. But in other scenarios, like digging up the relic, go for the relic. It doesn't matter if you're going to get slaughtered. As long as you get the relic and, like, American football style, run it to the other side, you've probably won the game. Which is what I did in another game. So yeah, this is kind of more towards the new players or other players who are getting frustrated. Do not give up if you think there are overpowered factions or anything's too strong. Worst case scenario, you keep losing with your army. Okay, so you keep losing it every game you go to. You get absolutely beaten up. Have a reevaluate of what that army's playstyle is. Okay, some armies are slower and tougher and are very good at holding objectives. Some are very quick but really squishy. Things like that. You want to be shooting with some armies, you want to be in close combat, or you want to do other sneaky things. So you want to, if you're really squishy but really good in close combat, you want to heroic march as much as you can. So make sure you've got options in your list to heroic march and get into the enemy's face as quickly as possible. Stick a war drum in there, stuff like that. But worst case scenario, if you keep losing, maybe that's not the army for you. Prime example, I love the look of these guys. Easterlings, okay? They're awesome. I have seen them wielded with deadly skill. I've been beaten up by them before on Tabletop Simulator against subscribers and in real life. But I am absolutely trash compared to those players with Easterlings. I'm a good player, in my opinion, at Middle-earth Strategy Battle Game, but they are just not my playstyle at all. I can't get my head around them. I really like horde armies. I'm really good with horde armies because I just like having numbers. Some people are not. Some people are very good at running elite armies or more elite armies. So yeah, moral of the story is don't give up. Don't moan too much at a game because you never know. You might end up facing your own faction and they might beat you up. Please let me know in the comment section down below if you've ever experienced anything like this where someone's moaning about their faction, or if you feel like your faction is not doing as well as it could be, or you think you're doing something wrong. Because if no one in the comment section can help you, I might be able to, failing that, jump in my Discord, because I'm always helping people with lists. Always. I should get paid for it. Only kidding. I mean, if only. But yeah, that's pretty much sums it up. The other thing, if you have ever had any kind of like gaming stories that you're willing to share, whether it be against that guy kind of person or against someone who is absolutely bonkers or completely mental or something like that, whether that be 40k, Middle-earth Strategy Battle Game, Age of Sigmar, or whatever, I do really want you to let me know about it because I love hearing these kind of stories. Either jump into my Discord, which is the best place to get me, and just lay me down what happened. And if I like it and you're okay with it, changing the names, or not even including them, in this case, the only person you know was me, I could do another video like this, if people like it. So, anyway, thank you ever so much for listening. If you like this video, do hit the like button, so I know people like these kind of stories, because it's the first one I've done. And if you're feeling especially saintly today, do consider subscribing, because we are getting closer to that 1,000 subscriber goal. Thank you ever so much, and I hope you have a fantastic day, even if you don't do either of those things. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.